just wanted to share on how the GHG management has evolved, particularly in India, since last, I would say, 15 or 20 years. So if you go back in, say, 2008 or 9, the concept was relatively new. Very few companies were reporting it, and even there was no mandatory, or I would say a requirement from, say, say regulators in India to report your emissions. Okay. So to start with, like in 2005, when 4 or something like that, it was seen as a new area to explore. So when we were talking about environment, most of our reporting was limited to, say, whether we are meeting the compliance of the pollution control boards or not. But then they started seeing that, okay, some of the exporters, which are sending products to Europe or, say, USA, their customers started asking, or in their, I would say, evaluation framework, they're asking, like, are you doing a GHG accounting or not? So I would say from that perspective, it started to emerge as a new area to explore. And then there was an era where I would say the CDP, or I would say GRI reporting, they started to emerge, and it became sort of a public recognition disclosure. So if you're reporting on CDP, you get certain scores like A minus, B, etc. So I would say it tells like how you are managing your environment or climate performance, etc. So it became sort of a public recognition and disclosure from that perspective. And then, like, as more and more disclosures coming into place, people started to do a peer comparison. Okay, a particular company A is doing, so how is our performance with respect to that company? And then inter-organization review and all those aspects started to, I would say, come in during this time. And it was mostly, I think, around 2010 to, I would say, 15, 16, then before the Paris Agreement part was there. And then I would say there were external drivers, international markets, because many of the corporates were part of certain jurisdictions where, as a country, they have taken certain targets for reduce the emission, etc. So from that perspective, the external drivers and international markets came into place, and more and more requirement of GHG emissions, etc., started to emerge. Like, for example, even for a company is looking for an investment, now the investors are asking for greenhouse gas emissions, how is your ESG score, etc. So from that perspective, more and more requirement came, and even you will see some of the small and medium enterprises today, say, before they want to go for IPO or, say, round of funding, etc., they are doing a GHG accounting, because that is sometimes asked by the investors as well. And then today, I would say it has become an integral part of a business strategy. You see the TCFD framework, how climate change is going into the board level discussions, what are the strategies, what are the targets which companies are taking. So now it has become an integral part of strategy. Even a product design, for example, people are now talking about how they can reduce the emissions, etc. So this is, I would say, the paradigm, I would say the shift which you have seen in the GHG management in last 10 to 15 years across different businesses. And I will try to bring some insights on the target setting as well, like in the next session, on how there is a shift in the target setting also from the company's perspective today. So this is what I would say I wanted to share in terms of the GHG management, which has evolved over so many years in India right now.